I want to be so for real right now because I feel like a lot of people need to hear this. If you cannot see Muggan Train, the revival screening thing that's happening for any reason, and you feel like you're missing out, don't. I'm not gonna lie, I'm so overstimulated right now. There is so much going on. It's crazy. If you haven't noticed already, there's like a lot of changes happening. I'm in a new space with kind of a new background. It's gonna change a lot over the next few months because I have a lot of plans for this space, and it does not include keeping everything the way it is. It's gonna be majorly shifted. It's still gonna be anime and all that fun stuff, but it's just gonna change up a little bit. Anyway, I have a new camera, I have a new microphone, I have new lighting, I'm in a new space. This is very overstimulating for me. Hopefully it's not overstimulating for you, but I cannot guarantee that today's video is going to be normal because I am like running on fumes right now, and I have been since I got back from Japan. And right now I'm literally like spewing out words after words. And if this is your first time with the channel, hello, welcome. My name is Hannah and I don't usually talk like this. I did not breathe. Okay, this is not the regular style video that I have, but I'm just changing things up. I'm feeling frisky. I just got back from Japan 2 weeks ago. There's a lot of things happening. Anyway, yeah, okay, moving on. The topic of today's video is going to be, I saw Muggan Train for the first time in theaters last night. Not Muggan Train itself for the first time, but in theaters for the first time. And I saw the exclusive sneak preview, and also there's a lot of drama that we're gonna talk about. So this video is gonna be 3 parts. I'm gonna briefly talk on my experience getting to see Muggan Train for the first time. I'm gonna briefly talk about the sneak preview so you kind of know what that's all about. And then I'm gonna talk about all the leak drama and all that fun stuff. So this is gonna be probably a fairly quick video because I don't have a ton to say. I feel like I've beaten the whole leak stuff down and talked about it. You all know where I stand, unless you're new here, of course. I'm a Demon Slayer YouTuber. I have thoughts always, and the whole reason that I turn on the camera is so that people can hear my thoughts, because I like sharing my thoughts, so I'm gonna share my thoughts. But before we do, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment your thoughts on today's video. Just as always, keep it respectful. You can also follow me on social media. I'm actually trying to hit 5K followers on Instagram before July 1st. I'm at like 4,500 almost, I think, around that area. I'll put a screenshot right here of my current followers. So if you want to help me out there and my goal, go ahead and follow me on Instagram. I'm at Hannah Malay, and it's linked in the description. This opening was wild, so I should just like take a deep breath and get into it. Let's go. What the heck was that? That's staying in the video because this is chaos, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so the first thing I just want to briefly touch on is I loved seeing Muggan Train on the big screen. For those of you who don't know, I've talked about this a lot. I was not a Demon Slayer watcher until Muggan Train was actually airing episodically, so I never got to see Muggan Train in theaters on the big screen, so I was already going to go and do this before they announced the sneak preview because I've never gone to do it. I didn't even see it in its like movie format until maybe 2 years after I saw it the first time, because we watched on Hulu. It only had the episodic version of it. They didn't have the movie version of it. And then I was like, I got Crunchyroll. I wasn't really watching Demon Slayer much. And then when I did a rewatch, I was like, oh, they have the movie version. Anyway, that was super amazing. I'm kind of like surprised. Not necessarily surprised. No one else in the theater was crying, and I was like sobbing, and so were my friends. Anyway, it's Muggan Train. Like, you're gonna cry, right? Right? Am I just crazy? But it was so stunning to watch on the big screen. I'm so glad we got to do that. Call it a cash grab, call it milking. I don't freaking care. I'm happy I got to go and see it. And also flex my new, like literally this says Kokoro Moyase, which means set your heart ablaze. What better way to celebrate this brand spanking new tattoo than to go get to see Muggan Train in theaters? Anyway, 10 out of 10 would recommend. If you have the opportunity to see Muggan Train and you are like, oh, I don't know if I really want to, then like go do it. Honestly, it was really, really cool to see it. And obviously if you've maybe seen it on the big screen before, you don't really care, like, okay, then don't do it. But if it's available in your area, like, it's truly up to you. You can either spend the money and go see it or don't. Like, it doesn't really matter, because the next thing I want to talk about is the sneak preview. Now, I know probably a lot of you have seen a majority of it, because I'll be honest, the leaks are literally everywhere. It is nearly impossible to avoid them. The day I signed into Twitter after it released in Japan and there was a leak released is the day I realized that leak culture is so insane, because tell me why I was scrolling through Twitter and every other tweet I was blocking the person because they were posting leaks. And I'm gonna be so for real with y'all. I'm blocking everyone that posts leaks in any way. And that is mainly because I don't want to have to delete Twitter when this movie comes out in July in Japan, before it comes out here where I live on September 12th. I don't want to have to delete Twitter during that time, but I don't want to see leaks of it. I am a manga reader, so it's not that I'm going to get spoiled, but I don't want to know where the movie ends. I want to be surprised when I see it in theaters. I don't want to see what battles are happening or what battles got anime original content. I don't want to see any of that. So I'm blocking everyone that's posting these leaks, because those are the people that are going to post leaks of the movie when it comes out, which we're going to address a little bit later in this video. But essentially, the way I felt watching this sneak preview, and the reason why I genuinely think if you don't get to go to this revival screening, you're not missing much, is, to me, it literally, it wasn't a sneak peek of the movie. It felt like a sneak peek of the upcoming big trailer, because it was definitely set up in a way where it was a trailer. There were 2 new lines from the movie, a line from Tanjiro and a line from Urokodaki, which was pretty cool. Like, I enjoyed that. I enjoy getting to hear new, like, voice acting from the upcoming content, but that's a me thing. Like, that gets me more excited than, like, anything else. So take whatever you want with that. But it had, you know, the original manga by Koyoharu Gotoge. Like, it had those, like, little moments where it felt like a trailer. But if I'm being completely honest, it felt like a build-up and a build-up and a build-up for, like, a very exciting trailer, but it just ended instead of having some kind of climax, which led me to really believe that this is the first 30 to 45-ish seconds of a trailer that's going to be released probably within the next month. Now, this is all speculation on my part, but it surprisingly was not much. And people are acting like if you don't get to see Muggan Train, you're literally missing out on this big moment, this big sneak preview of the movie. And you're not. Like, I promise you this. Even in our own theater, when it ended, the people in front of us were like, that's it? Like, people were, like, kind of shrugging, like, oh, that all of that for that? Which is both a good and a bad thing. I think it's a good thing that it doesn't seem like it's that much, because I do think that Aniplex is probably aware that a lot of people aren't going to be able to see this. But it also was kind of a bad thing where it was like, okay, a lot of people probably did end up choosing to go and spend that money simply because they wanted to see it, and it wasn't much. So take it or leave it, you know, I could be wrong too. Maybe this particular thing will just never be shown to regular public audiences. I don't know. But it wasn't much. Like, it genuinely wasn't much. So first things first, like I said, there's 2 new lines. One from Tanjiro, he said, "Kono sekai wa yabai," which is like, this world is crazy. And then Urokodaki said something, I don't exactly remember what he said, but it was, I think, a direct line from the manga where he's talking about how, like, this is the start of the end, right? And that's it. That's all there was as far as speaking goes. Outside of that, we saw Tanjiro briefly falling. We saw a wide shot of Tanjiro and Giyu running through one of the hallways. We saw pretty much all of the Slayers at some point. We obviously saw Zenitsu kind of running towards somewhere. We just saw his back. We saw Mitsuri and Obanai falling. They were some of the only characters we actually saw their faces. Most of the new visuals, you still didn't even see the Slayers' faces. You just knew who they were because of their outfits. We saw Sanemi still just sitting there. We saw a little bit more of Shinobu. We saw her, like, grip her sword. The music that was playing was actually Shinobu's theme, which was fun, but it was very brief, and it was set up. It was set up. It wasn't anything crazy. You didn't see any battles. You didn't see anything really beefy. It was literally just like the visuals we've already seen, but moving instead of stills, like we saw in like that promotional reel. Like that's genuinely how it felt. The only thing of note that I could say to me made me think that maybe this movie's gonna cover a little bit more than I originally thought is we did see what looked like the entrance of a certain demon, which I'm not gonna talk about in this video because I'm not gonna talk about manga spoilers, but there was definitely a explosive moment where you could tell like there was someone like breaking through a bunch of the stuff within the Infinity Castle. And I know who that is. I know what that meant. And it is a demon. It is someone that's showing up that we know, that we've met. So I wasn't sure if that one was going to be in this movie. That could be still the end of this movie, honestly, is that entrance, but we'll see. But overall, it was very good, and I'm really glad that I got to see it on the big screen because it was just like, it's building up the hype for me, honestly. But if you can't go and see it, again, I say, I don't think you're missing out on much. There really wasn't much in it that would lead me to believe that if you don't get to see this, you're like genuinely missing out on something, because it either A, is going to be the beginning of a robust trailer that will come out in a month, or it was just not that much. So if it just never gets released to the general public, it was fine. Like it wasn't crazy. It was really cool. I don't care. Like, I don't know. I'm so nonchalant that I think it bothers people. Do I think the marketing strategy of this movie is strange? Absolutely. It genuinely doesn't make sense to me that we are 2 months away from this movie coming out in Japan and there's no official trailer. But I also think that Aniplex is just like, we know it's gonna do numbers, we know it's gonna do well, and so we don't need to put that much budget into the trailers, which I get, I guess. Like, I don't mind that. If they're saving money on trailers and it means that the production value of these movies is going to only go up because of that, I don't mind. So whatever. It doesn't make sense. It is kind of frustrating too, because it's making my experience as a fan on social media just not be as fun, because people are just always complaining about it. And I get it, but some people are being really dramatic and just crazy, which we're gonna, again, talk about in a minute. But it is what it is. So I am gonna go watch that movie 6-7 times in theaters, no matter what they do for the marketing. I know people who love Demon Slayer are going to do the same. So I don't really mind that they're doing it this way. I don't get it. It's a little bit frustrating and confusing, but it is what it is. Okay, so the elephant in the room that people, majority said they wanted me to talk about. Again, I don't want to waste too much time on this because at some point it just becomes repetitive, but Kimetsu official Twitter account, like the Kimetsu official Twitter account, posted about the leaks. So like I said earlier, as soon as Muggan Train started in Japan, started releasing in Japan, there was a leak that went out and was being spread everywhere. Like, it was nearly impossible to avoid. It was impossible to avoid if you like Demon Slayer at all. And it wasn't just on Twitter, it was on Instagram. I was just talking to a friend last night when we went to see Muggan Train, and she was like, I gave up trying after 5 minutes because everywhere I clicked on my Instagram, I saw it. And she's not even on Twitter, so it's everywhere. But Kimetsu's official account did post an official call out of that and saying, if you are caught, you are subject to up to 10 years in prison or 10 million yen fine, or both. For those of you who don't know how much money is 10 million yen, it's very roughly 100,000 USD. So it's a lot of money. I question why this is when they decide to start cracking down on this specific thing, because these movies, like the world tours, were being leaked like crazy. I know Muggan Train was leaked like crazy. I don't know why now is the time they decide to crack down. It's possible because they have been paying attention to it for a long time and they just decided to say something now. But it does seem like a little weird to me that they're cracking down on it in this way for this specific thing. Because this is such a small thing, why didn't they crack down when the entire Upper Moon meeting for Swords and Village was leaked before that world tour even hit America, you know? Anyway, like, that's where I question it. They have every right to say something because at the end of the day, leak culture does affect these businesses poorly, and leak culture has been illegal for a very long time. Leaks have been illegal in like every country for as long as I can remember, okay? Taking pictures, taking videos of movies in theater is illegal, and posting it online not only is illegal, but it also incriminates yourself, because if you're posting it online, you are actively, publicly breaking the law. You all should know this at this point. This is not new. This is not specific to Japan. This has been a thing that's been happening for a long time. It is well within these companies' rights to start cracking down on it. How else is it gonna stop? Because it is a very bad culture. I understand the desire to do it. Anyway, they are well within their right to post about it, okay? The comments on this were interesting, and this is like the meat and butter of what I wanted to talk about, because I think this is a very interesting and nuanced subject that a lot of people don't realize is so nuanced. So first things first, this first leak came out when the movie came out in Japan. So it is highly likely that the original leaker, the person who recorded it and posted it, is Japanese, okay? Do I think there's a possibility that a foreigner went to see it while they were in Japan and they recorded it and they posted it? Absolutely. Something that I found very interesting when I was in Japan recently was whenever there was an event that I went to where it said no videos, no photography, no one videoed and no one photographed. And like, no one. Everyone follows the rules there. I went to a skating competition, which I personally felt was kind of dumb that we couldn't record or take photos of the skaters because 90% of them weren't even Japanese. I understand that because they're competing in Japan and they're on a work visa, they're technically under Japanese law, I guess. So that means that they're gonna have to be under their different like copyright laws, which are very, very strict in Japan. But like, it wasn't my place to combat that because I was a visitor in Japan. When we are talking about anime, we are visitors of these shows. These shows are catered to Japanese people. They are created for Japanese people. Anime companies do recognize that foreigners do watch these, but it is well within their rights to not cater to us as foreign fans, because at the end of the day, we are outsiders looking in. Anime is for Japanese people. So it's not my place to combat the fact that I think that there are copyright laws and the fact that I can't record anytime I go to a panel at Anime Expo because they have very strict laws, even though these people are celebrities and they're constantly photographed and videographed. Is that a word? I'm not gonna combat that, one, because they're just gonna kick me out, and two, because it's not my place. I'm not Japanese, whatever. I'm a visitor, whatever, right? I forgot where I was going with this statement. Anyway, so it is very possible that a foreigner recorded it. It is. Is it more likely that a Japanese person recorded it? Absolutely, that they are the ones that posted it. However, it was non-Japanese people that were spreading it around like wildfire, because like non-Japanese people are the ones that are like, I might not get to see this, I'm being left out, blah, 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 right? The comments on this tweet were astounding. You had so many, like there was so many issues on both sides. I'm not gonna lie, okay? First of all, you had all of the foreign languages, so English, Spanish, French, Italian, whatever languages you saw, right? All of those comments were people saying, I'm doing this because you have bad marketing. Not a legit reason to break the law, by the way, okay? I understand feeling left out, but I said this video was gonna be short, and here I am venting. I warned you all I was gonna vent. Okay, it is people saying, I deserve this. I am going to break the law because you're not catering to my every need, okay? I understand, again, being disappointed if this movie isn't coming out in your country or your area, or you can't go to it because it's only showing for a few days, blah, blah, blah. Like, I get it. I get being disappointed. That is not in any way, shape, or form a reason to break the law, okay? You are publicly breaking the law if they find you because you are being public about it and you can't keep your mouth shut because you want the clout, you want the followers, and posting leaks gets you that. You might be fined a lot of money, and you should know that, okay? So all of the comments, like, it was essentially, if the people that run the official Kimetsu account that posted this were not aware that it was foreigners posting it, because at this time, Muggan Train had only been released in Japan. All of the foreigners commenting in foreign languages from Japanese made it obvious that it was us who was really sharing it. Now, I'm not gonna say that the Japanese comments were perfect either. They were not perfect in the way where they were saying that we should gatekeep anime and not allow foreigners to watch anime at all, which is just wrong, okay? Like, that should not happen either. This, at the end of the day, is still a loud minority. I think that the majority of people who watch and enjoy Demon Slayer are not involved in this way and do not care. Like, even someone like me, I'm obviously very involved in the fandom, but I also do not care. I feel like I'm like in the middle. There's the people who are so involved that they think everything revolves around them and that they should get everything right away. And then there's the people who, you know, are casual fans of Demon Slayer and don't really interact and don't really care. They're gonna go watch it when it comes out because they're gonna go watch it, right? That's the majority of people. Saying that, you know, all, like these people that are foreigners are posting it and anime should just not be released to around the world anymore. Hello, Nesco. It's bad, okay? Like, that's so extreme. Like, don't do that. I will also call out that my issue with this entire thing, and I think this is where I'll kind of end it because this is getting long and drawn out and you can choose to listen to me or not. My biggest issue with this entire situation is, yes, it is a majority of foreigners who are doing this. It is always the foreigners that ruin it for me. I'll be completely honest. I of course don't engage with a ton of Japanese people on social media because I'm not that good at Japanese yet. I'm working on it. I want to make friends from Japan where I can legitimately just talk to them in Japanese when I'm talking to them. That's like, I want to get there. I'm scared because of my language skills, not because of anything else. But having to be in the foreign fandom and having to kind of interact with all these people, my biggest issue is simply the idea that they need to cater to our every need when this is, at the end of the day, not designed for us, and it never will be. We have to accept that if we are anime fans, we will always be outsiders looking in. This stuff is not designed for us. It is not catered to us. Just them allowing us to see it and us getting events, you know, like panels at Anime Expo, like special premiere events and world tours, and even getting Muggan Train in theaters was technically a nice thing that they're trying to do for us. That is ruined by foreigners who complain and act like everything revolves around them. Because, may I remind you all, every time that they decide to allow us to be a part of something, like when they introduced the world tours, they've been doing what the world tour was in Japan since Demon Slayer started, and other animes do that too. They release new episodes in theaters so you can go see it. They release old episodes in theaters so you can see it. They combine it like they did with the World Tour. They've been doing that for forever. And they saw that it was super popular overseas, so they're like, let's go and give this to everyone so everyone can be a part of it. And you know what happened when that hit theaters in America? People were calling it a scam. People were complaining it. We essentially took this gift, we threw it on the ground, we stomped on it, and we said we don't want it. So why are we entitled to anything, okay? That is my issue at the end of the day with what's happening, is the fact that we are constantly outing ourselves as entitled, whiny brats when I try to not be like that. I partake in as much of the stuff as I can, and because everyone's constantly doing this, and especially now that I am fully 100% aware that the Kimetsu official account is aware of it enough to make a post about it, I fear that there will be less opportunities for us. For example, Anime Expo is coming up in less than 2 months. Last year, Aniplex announced their lineup for Anime Expo already at this point last year. Nothing so far. Like, I wonder if they're tired and they're like, you know what, if they're gonna act like this, we're just gonna stop. Especially with our current government situation with them trying to tariff foreign movies now. Like, nothing is going well. And it's like, it's ruining my experience as a fan because people are so entitled. So I think it just requires a change of perspective. Rather than seeing this entire thing as them gatekeeping something from a lot of fans, see it as them trying to offer something that they usually just do in Japan to as many people as possible. That's it. Really long, drawn out way of saying that. This video was way longer than I planned. I did warn you all that it was going to be a little bit of a vent, but that's just like my honest thoughts. I pride myself in my YouTube videos trying to be very natural and just like me as a person. Like, you're getting me. I don't have an on-camera persona. I don't have a script. I just turn on the camera and talk because I have thoughts and I like doing that. So that's what this video turned into, obviously. Anytime I try to script something, it feels very fake and just not me. And I don't usually I don't enjoy how those videos turn out. I very much enjoy just talking to the camera and letting you all see into my brain because it's like, I have thoughts. I like talking about this stuff, so I make videos, but that's my honest opinion. Guys, don't spread leaks, okay? Whether you think that the marketing strategy is correct or not, whether you think that the fact that we still have to wait 2 months before we get to see the movie in other countries, or at least for us, I know a lot of other countries actually get it only a month later, and I'm very jealous. Whether you think that's all right or not, that doesn't justify you publicly breaking the law in that way. So that's just my personal opinion. I would say be careful. We know they're watching. We know they're paying attention. Let's not ruin it for everyone, okay? Let's just stop posting leaks. It's really not that hard. Anyway, that's it for today's video. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and I'll see you all in the next one. Matane.